I'm having more fun during this time of my life than I've ever had before. I've legitimately never been happier.
You found out what Taylor Swift thinks of your mustache?
Yeah, we're not going to bring up Taylor Swift.
How does it feel to officially be the guy on the Chiefs?
You mean Karma?
Karma, that's right.
Yeah, no, I had no clue that, well, I might have had a little bit of a clue, but definitely when I heard it come out of her mouth, still shocked me. And
yeah, you could tell in the video.
I was like,
it was pretty...
Oh,
When Taylor Swift was first spotted cheering from a private suite at a Kansas City Chiefs game, the internet went into a frenzy. Cameras caught her reactions, fans dissected every facial expression, and social media timelines were flooded with speculation. But beyond the viral photos and breathless headlines was a story that almost never happened, a romance that had a surprisingly awkward and uncertain beginning. In a recent interview, Swift reflected on the first time she and Travis Kelce actually spoke. Far from being a fairy tale introduction, their initial connection was tentative, a little uncomfortable, and, by her own admission, not exactly smooth. For someone as globally recognized as Swift, even a simple phone call can carry a certain weight. And for Kelce, a Super Bowl-winning NFL star used to performing under pressure, this was a completely different kind of challenge. Many people assumed that two celebrities at the top of their fields would have no trouble connecting. After all, Swift is one of the biggest pop stars in the world, and Kelce is a household name in professional football. But according to both of them, that assumption couldn't be further from the truth. In reality, Kelce had to put in considerable effort just to get on Swift's radar, and there were moments when the situation felt downright embarrassing. The story famously began in July 2023 at Arrowhead Stadium. Kelce wasn't there to play football. He was in the audience for Swift's Eras Tour concert. While fans filled the venue trading friendship bracelets, a beloved tradition among Swifties, Kelce decided to join in on the fun. He made a bracelet specifically for Swift. It wasn't just any bracelet, though. It had his phone number on it. It was a bold move, equal parts charming and nerve-wracking. Imagine being a star athlete accustomed to roaring crowds and high-stakes games, only to find yourself hoping a handmade bracelet might reach one of the most famous musicians on the planet. Unfortunately, Kelce never got the chance to give it to her. On his podcast, New Heights, which he co-hosts with his brother Jason Kelce, Travis later explained his disappointment. Swift, he noted, doesn't meet with people before or after her shows because she has to preserve her voice for the marathon of songs she performs, often more than 40 in a single night. It's understandable. Vocal rest is crucial for a performer undertaking a tour of that magnitude. Still, Kelce admitted he felt a little deflated. He had built up the moment in his mind, and when it didn't happen, he was left feeling what he jokingly described as but hurt. For many, that might have been the end of the story, a funny anecdote about a missed opportunity. But Kelce didn't give up. A few months later, he revealed that he had quietly enlisted some help. During an interview with the Wall Street Journal, he shared that people in Swift's circle were aware of his interest. Apparently, word got around that he had attended the concert and tried to connect. Someone in her orbit even acted as a bit of a matchmaker, nudging Swift with a casual, "Did you know he was coming?" That subtle intervention changed everything. Instead of Kelce chasing an impossible introduction, Swift reached out to him directly. The dynamic shifted instantly. What began as an unreturned bracelet evolved into a real conversation. Still, their early exchanges weren't necessarily effortless. Swift later admitted that their first phone call wasn't magical or cinematic. There were nerves. There was uncertainty. For someone who has spent years navigating intense public scrutiny and highly publicized relationships, opening up to someone new isn't simple. Kelce, meanwhile, found himself navigating emotional territory that felt unfamiliar. On the football field, he follows a playbook. In life, especially in romance, there was no clear strategy. He had to be patient, respectful, and genuine, qualities that don't always make headlines but matter deeply behind the scenes. Family members also played a quiet role in their unfolding connection. When Swift later attended a Chiefs game at Arrowhead Stadium, she was given the team's locker room as a dressing space. Kelce joked that her younger relatives were taking photos in front of his locker, a detail that added a layer of sweetness to the situation. It seemed that even before the relationship was official, there was a sense of warmth and curiosity on both sides. Then came the moment that confirmed to the world something real was happening. Swift attended a Chiefs game against the Chicago Bears, seated next to Kelce's mother, Donna Kelce. Cameras repeatedly cut to her in the suite. She wasn't sitting quietly in the background. She wore Chiefs colors, cheered enthusiastically, and visibly celebrated when Kelce scored a touchdown. At one point, she jumped up, clapped, and shouted in excitement, completely immersed in the game. For fans watching at home, it felt like a crossover event, pop culture meeting professional sports in the most unexpected way. But for Swift and Kelce, it was likely just another step in getting to know each other. Reports soon surfaced that they were still in the super early days of dating. They were spending time together, having fun, and keeping expectations measured. After the game, Kelce spoke on his podcast about how much he appreciated Swift showing up. He mentioned that everyone in the suite, friends and family alike, had nothing but kind things to say about her. She made a strong impression, not as a superstar, but as a person. Importantly, Kelce emphasized that he intended to respect both of their lives and careers. Public curiosity was intense, but he seemed aware that protecting something new sometimes means not oversharing it. Swift's appearances at games continued, including a high-profile matchup against the New York Jets at MetLife Stadium. This time, she brought along several famous friends, further fueling media coverage. Still, the Chiefs kept winning, and Kelce kept performing. Some fans jokingly referred to Swift as the team's good luck charm, though the Chiefs had already been on a strong run. Between tour dates, Swift resumed international performances, including a series of shows in Buenos Aires at Estadio River Plate. Kelce eventually traveled to see her. At one point, severe weather forced a rescheduling of a concert, unexpectedly freeing up time for the pair. Around that same period, Kelce teased on his podcast about possibly heading somewhere sunny, hinting at a desire for a break. Though they tried to keep things low-key, the signs were clear. What started as a missed bracelet exchange had grown into something meaningful. Looking back, what makes their story compelling isn't just the celebrity factor. It's the vulnerability beneath it. A football star risking mild humiliation to pass along his number. A global pop icon cautiously opening up despite years of intense scrutiny. Awkward phone calls. Third-party matchmaking. Nervous first impressions. Their connection wasn't instant perfection. It required patience, a bit of courage, and the willingness to push past initial rejection. And perhaps that's why it resonated so strongly with fans. Beneath the glamour and flashing cameras, it felt relatable. In a world where public relationships often seem staged or transactional, this one began with something almost disarmingly simple, a handmade bracelet and a phone number that never made it into the right hands, at least not at first. As their relationship continued to unfold in the public eye, the moments between Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce only seemed to get sweeter and more headline-worthy. In November 2023, Swift delivered one of the most talked-about gestures of her era's tour. During her November 11th show in Buenos Aires, she playfully changed the lyrics of her song Karma, singing, "Karma is the guy on the Chiefs coming straight home to me." The crowd erupted. It was a subtle but unmistakable nod to Kelce and his team, the Kansas City Chiefs. For fans who had been closely following their budding romance, it felt like confirmation that things were getting serious. But the lyric change wasn't the only magical moment that night. After the show, fans captured footage of Swift running backstage straight into Kelce's arms. The two embraced and shared a kiss, a cinematic scene that instantly went viral. For a couple who had initially kept their connection private, this public display felt like a new chapter. Open, joyful, and unapologetic. Shortly afterward, on November 20th, 2023, Kelce sat down with the Wall Street Journal and opened up more about how their relationship began. He revealed that mutual connections had quietly helped bridge the gap after his now famous friendship bracelet attempt. According to Kelce, people in Swift's inner circle had let her know he was interested. Someone essentially played Cupid, giving Swift the nudge that led her to reach out directly. Kelce admitted he felt lucky that she took the initiative. What started as a playful story on his New Heights podcast, where he jokingly lamented not being able to give her his bracelet, ultimately turned into real communication. He also shared a charming detail about her era's tour stop at Arrowhead Stadium. Swift had been given the Chiefs' locker room as a dressing area, and her younger cousins were snapping photos in front of his locker. Even then, before the relationship was public, there were hints of connection. Months later, Kelce's teammate Patrick Mahomes added his own twist to the origin story. Appearing on the Pat McAfee show, Mahomes claimed he deserved a bit of credit for bringing the two together. He said Kelce had been sitting in his suite at Swift's concert when the friendship bracelet idea was born. From Mahomes' perspective, that invitation helped set everything in motion. Whether or not he was truly the matchmaker, it added another playful layer to the narrative. By December 2023, Swift herself addressed the relationship publicly in a major way. After being named Time Magazine's 2023 Person of the Year, she spoke about Kelce in her interview. She said the entire story began when he very adorably mentioned her on his podcast. Rather than being put off, she found it bold and endearing. Swift also revealed something fans hadn't realized. By the time she attended her first Chiefs game, they were already dating. They had quietly spent time together before the world caught on. That period of privacy, she explained, allowed them to build a foundation without intense scrutiny. She even joked that they would never be psychotic enough to hard launch a first date at an NFL game. In other words, the public only saw them once they were comfortable. As the NFL season progressed toward the playoffs and ultimately the Super Bowl, Swift became a regular presence at games. She attended a Christmas Day matchup and multiple postseason contests, cheering enthusiastically from the stands. Kelce later described her as all-in and proudly part of Chiefs Kingdom. Their relationship even made its way into pop culture satire. When Saturday Night Live returned with host Pete Davidson, one skit hilariously poked fun at the non-stop media focus on Swift during NFL broadcasts. Davidson played a sideline reporter more concerned about spotting Swift than covering the game itself, jokingly wondering why he was even there if she wasn't in the stands. In a surprise twist, Kelce appeared at the end of the sketch, chiming in to steer the conversation back to football. The cameo showed he was fully aware of and amused by the media frenzy surrounding their romance. Then came the biggest moment of Kelce season, the Super Bowl in February 2024. Swift had just wrapped up a series of Eras tour shows in Tokyo. With barely any downtime, she boarded a long flight to Las Vegas to watch him play. Her arrival in Nevada became a story of its own, with fans tracking her travel timeline to see if she'd make it in time. She did, and she wasn't alone. Swift attended the game with friends including Blake Lively and Ice Spice. The Chiefs ultimately defeated the San Francisco 49ers 25-22 in a dramatic overtime victory. As confetti fell, cameras captured Swift and Kelce embracing and kissing on the field in celebration. It was one of the most widely shared images of the night, a merging of sports glory and pop stardom. Just weeks later, Swift resumed her tour in Australia, and Kelce returned the favor by flying overseas to support her. Before one of her Sydney shows, the couple visited the zoo, where they fed kangaroos and enjoyed a rare day of sightseeing. Fans later spotted Kelce in the crowd at her concert, wearing friendship bracelets and enthusiastically cheering her on. After the show, they were once again seen sharing a kiss, a small but meaningful gesture that reinforced how consistently they showed up for one another. By April 2024, their relationship was fully out in the open. The pair attended the iconic Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival in California, dancing together in the crowd. They were seen enjoying sets by artists including Ice Spice and Bleachers, the latter fronted by Swift's longtime collaborator Jack Antonoff. Swift wore a cap referencing Kelce's New Heights podcast, while Kelce sported a laid-back festival look. They appeared relaxed, affectionate, and completely comfortable being seen together. Around the same time, Swift released her album, The Tortured Poets Department. Almost immediately, fans began dissecting the lyrics for clues about her relationship. Two songs in particular, So High School and The Alchemy, sparked speculation. In So High School, Swift sings about feeling giddy and youthful in love, describing a romance that feels exhilarating and fresh. Listeners connected certain lines to Kelce's playful personality and public displays of chivalry, such as opening car doors and driving her around Kansas City. While Swift never explicitly confirmed which songs were inspired by Kelce, the themes of joy, support, and newfound excitement resonated strongly with fans who had followed their timeline. Kelce himself later expressed admiration for the album. Speaking at Kelce Jam, he admitted he might be biased but named The Tortured Poets Department as his favorite album released that year. It was a simple comment, yet it demonstrated his consistent pride in her work. The summer brought another unforgettable chapter during Swift's era's tour stop in London. One evening, she posed for a selfie with Prince William, Prince George, and Princess Charlotte. Kelce joined the photo, marking one of their first major joint appearances on her social media. The image blended music, sports, and royalty in a way only Swift's orbit seems capable of. Then, during another London performance, Kelce surprised fans by stepping on stage as part of a theatrical segment. Dressed in costume, he participated in a vaudeville-inspired skit and even carried Swift across the stage before she launched into her next song. The crowd erupted. Later, Swift posted,